Do you feel like your life is heavy? Like there's always something invisible holding you back, even when everything seems to be under control? Maybe the problem isn't your job, your responsibilities, or the people around you. Instead, it might be those small and quiet habits that, without realizing it, fill your mind, your home, and your heart with unnecessary weight. These are practices that seem harmless, but gradually steal your time, your energy, and even your peace. Today, we'll talk about the 10 habits you need to eliminate from your life to live lighter and happier, inspired by Japanese minimalism. Small changes that, when added together, make all the difference. By the end of this video, you'll understand that letting go of excess doesn't mean losing, it means gaining more space for what truly matters. If you believe that simplicity brings peace, stick around until the end, because the 10th habit is one of the hardest to get rid of. But when you do, everything changes. Habit 1. Having a chaotic routine. Have you ever had days when everything feels out of control? You wake up late, rush through breakfast, leave the house without knowing where you left your keys, and before the day even really begins, you're already exhausted. A disorganized routine might seem like just a small issue, but over time, it creates stress, anxiety, and a constant feeling that you're always chasing time. Japanese minimalism values not only simplicity in physical space, but also clarity in daily life. Well-defined, small routines bring more flow to your day, make decisions easier, and reduce mental fatigue. It's not about living rigidly, but about creating habits that bring balance. When your mind doesn't have to worry about daily chaos, you'll have more time and energy for what really matters. Try establishing a more harmonious rhythm for your mornings, creating simple organization for your workspace, and setting aside moments of pause throughout the day. The more predictable your structure is, the more freedom you'll feel. Habit 2. Trying to handle everything on your own. You feel like you need to handle everything yourself, as if asking for help is a sign of weakness or incompetence. This mindset, besides being exhausting, makes life heavier than it needs to be. Many times we insist on carrying the world on our shoulders because we believe that delegating or sharing responsibilities means we're not capable. But there's a big problem with this logic. No one can do everything alone without paying a high price for it. And that price usually comes in the form of exhaustion, frustration, and emotional overload. Minimalism isn't just about external order. It's also about lightening the internal load. There are tasks that could be shared, commitments that could be reduced, and help that could be accepted, if only we let go of pride or guilt. Recognizing your own limits isn't a weakness, it's wisdom. Delegating, asking for support, and accepting that you don't have to handle everything is one of the most important steps toward a lighter, more peaceful life. Habit 3. Buying things just because they're on sale. You know, that feeling when you see an amazing discount and think, it's so cheap today, I might as well take advantage of it. The problem is, many times taking advantage means bringing home something you didn't really need. A low price isn't the same as a need. Japanese minimalism teaches us that every purchase should be intentional. When we buy something impulsively, without real usefulness or purpose, we're just accumulating more things that, in the end, will be forgotten in a corner. This not only creates visual clutter and mental fatigue, but also weighs on your finances. So, what seemed like savings can actually turn into waste. Next time you feel the urge to buy something just because it's on sale, ask yourself, would I buy this at full price? Does this really add value to my life? If the answer is no, it might be better to just let it go. Habit 4. Holding on to things, just for emotional attachment. How many times have you held onto an object and thought, but what if I need this one day? Or, this reminds me of an important moment in my life, and ended up keeping it. The truth is, they aren't just material things. They're little pieces of our past that we insist on keeping. even when they no longer make sense in our current lives. Those clothes we haven't worn in years, old papers, mementos from phases of life that have long since passed. All of this takes up space. But the issue isn't just the physical clutter. What really weighs us down is the emotional baggage these objects carry. Holding on to things that no longer have any real use or meaning can feel like hanging on to an invisible thread that ties us to the past, preventing us from moving forward freely. Japanese minimalism teaches that the goal isn't to live with nothing, but rather to keep only what truly adds value and meaning to our lives. Before keeping an item, ask yourself, does this still play a role in my life? Or am I just clinging to something that no longer represents me? If the answer is the latter, it may be time to let go and make room for something new. Habit 5, saying yes to everyone. Have you ever found yourself agreeing to commitments you didn't want, just to avoid disappointing someone? Or agreeing with opinions and requests that don't align with what you really believe? This habit of saying yes to everything and everyone may seem like a kind gesture, but in reality, it's a fast track to burnout and losing your sense of self. The fear of displeasing others or being seen as selfish often leads us to accept more than we can handle or truly want. However, constantly living to please others means neglecting our own needs and boundaries. Over time, this breeds resentment, fatigue, and the feeling of always being at the mercy of others' desires. Learning to say no is an act of self-care and self-respect. It's not about being rude or uncaring. It's about recognizing that your time and energy are precious and should be devoted to what truly matters to you. Setting clear boundaries and communicating your needs assertively is essential. You're not here to please everyone. Your priority should be living according to your values and taking care of your own well-being. Habit 6, tolerating negative energy around you. Have you ever noticed how certain environments and people can drain your energy? Those places filled with tension or individuals who always seem to focus on the negative side of things. Tolerating these energies around you can deeply affect your well-being and inner peace. Japanese minimalism teaches us to value harmony, not just in physical space, but also in the relationships and environments we surround ourselves with. Being around negativity is like carrying an invisible weight that gradually drains your energy and spirit. To live more lightly, it's essential to make conscious choices about where and with whom you spend your time. This may mean limiting contact with people who consistently bring negative vibes or transforming spaces that make you uncomfortable. Creating an environment of serenity and positivity is crucial for maintaining a calm mind and a peaceful heart. You deserve to be surrounded by influences that uplift and inspire you. Your energy is valuable and should be protected. Habit 7, digital clutter. Physical organization is important, but have you ever stopped to think about the state of your digital space? Your phone, email, and computer might be full of files, notifications, and apps you don't need. This digital clutter also causes stress and distraction, interfering with your productivity and peace of mind. Just like in physical minimalism, the goal is to keep only what's essential in your digital world. This means deleting old emails, organizing your folders, uninstalling unnecessary apps, and silencing unimportant notifications. A clean digital space makes it easier to access the information that truly matters and reduces mental overload. Each time you declutter and organize your digital space, you create a sense of order and clarity that reflects in other areas of your life. Fewer digital distractions mean more focus and tranquility. Habit 8, eating without attention and care. How many times have you found yourself eating hastily without truly savoring the food? In a world where everything seems to be moving at a rapid pace, it's easy to fall into the trap of eating on autopilot, without paying attention to what we're consuming. This lack of mindfulness during meals not only affects our physical health, but also our mental well-being. Japanese minimalism values simplicity and presence in all aspects of life, including eating. Mindful eating, savoring every bite, turns the act of eating into a moment of tranquility and pleasure. It not only improves digestion, but also promotes a healthier relationship with food. Try to set aside specific time for meals, away from distractions like your phone or TV. Focus on the flavors, textures, and aromas of the food. Turn your meals into self-care rituals, a necessary pause in the fast pace of daily life. Habit 9. Maintaining a visually cluttered space. Have you ever noticed how the clutter around you can affect your mental clarity? An environment filled with scattered objects, overcrowded walls, and an overload of visual information can be a huge barrier to tranquility and concentration. Visual clutter not only disorganizes your physical space, but also creates a sense of internal chaos. Japanese minimalism teaches us to cultivate simple and organized spaces. Less is more, reducing the number of visible items and creating a cleaner, more harmonious environment can have a profound impact on your well-being. This doesn't mean living in an empty space, but rather carefully choosing what truly brings joy and utility. Try to declutter your environment, eliminate what's not essential, and organize what really matters in a way that's pleasing to the eye. A visually calm space promotes a more serene and focused mind. Habit 10. Thinking more things bring more happiness. We live in a society that often associates happiness with the accumulation of material goods. How many times have you thought that acquiring something new would bring lasting satisfaction? However, this endless pursuit of more can lead to an ongoing cycle of dissatisfaction and anxiety. Japanese minimalism invites us to rethink this logic. True happiness doesn't lie in the number of things we own, but in the quality of experiences and meaningful connections we cultivate. By focusing on what truly matters, we discover that less is indeed more. When you free yourself from the belief that more things bring more happiness, you create space to appreciate what you already have. Small moments of joy, enriching experiences, and authentic relationships take on a much greater value. Simplicity then becomes a genuine source of contentment. Comment: happiness lies in simplicity. Eliminating habits that weigh us down doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process that requires self-awareness and determination. Each small change you make toward the essentials lightens your life a little more and makes it happier. If any of these habits are still part of your daily routine, don't worry. What's important is recognizing them and starting to take action. I want to know, which of these habits are you still struggling to eliminate? Share in the comments because your experience may inspire others who are on the same path. And if this video resonated with you, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Here, we've created a space for those seeking to live with more simplicity and intention. See you in the next video.